Hello, gorgeous women, amazing, incredible mothers, all of you fabulous, feminine women. I hope that you are having such an amazing week so far. If not, if you're struggling, if you feel like you are losing yourself, this video is for you today. So I am coming live from my office on the floor because my tripod literally just broke. So my phone's like balancing on one tiny little cord right now. So if it falls, we're just gonna go with it. But I wanted to hop on and just have a little heart-to-heart chat with you today. And I'll probably be looking off to the side a lot because that's just how I think and process. And I'm pretty sure it just helps me stay focused. So today I want to talk to you about motherhood misery. And this includes postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, chronic fatigue, overwhelm, all of the negative things that you're probably going through right now, because everything is literally heightened right now and super concentrated. So I hope you can hear me. If you are hopping on live, let me know that you can hear me. And if you're watching the replay, I'd love to know who hopped on and watched. So I have my laptop here with my notes. I will be looking at these again just to stay on topic because I tend to ramble sometimes because I get very excited about this topic. So let's talk about motherhood misery. And if you are new to me, my name is Haley Morgan and I am a self-sabotage and anxiety specialist for mothers and high-achieving women. I help women to restore and reclaim their unstoppable nature, to transform and shift out of pain into purpose. Because it is my strongest belief, it is my number one passion here on the planet, to help women feel better. Because women are so important. We are so important. We are natural leaders. If you're a mother, you're a natural leader. And we just influence. We have so much influence, and we don't even know how much influence we really have, especially as moms. And when mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy, right? When mom's drowning and she feels like crap and she feels burned out and empty on the inside, she's not going to be giving her best, and she's not going to be in her creative energies. She's going to be in survival mode. And what happens when we're running in survival mode for a long time is we get depleted, we feel burned out, and eventually you have chronic illness. You have physical chronic pain when you don't listen to your body and you're not taking care of yourself. So then you really become not useful to anyone and you become dependent on other people for support. And it's just not good. It's not good. Versus if women are thriving, and again, this is how I go on tangents. When women are thriving, that also influences everyone around you. And it's like giving from that overflow place instead of that depleted, empty place helps you to be more creative, to create bigger solutions in the world, to even just support your family a little bit more, 5% more, to be 5% happier. I mean, how much of a difference would even just 5% more happiness give you? 5% more energy, 5% more radiance, 5% more support. It doesn't even have to be this big global mission that you want to achieve. Sometimes you just being a little bit happier creates such a big domino effect. And that's why I'm super passionate about women feeling good about themselves and thriving and coming from a place of overflow in whatever they're doing, whether that's a stay-at-home mom or you have a career that you're super passionate about. So let's talk about motherhood suffering today. Why are so many women suffering? This has been a question on my mind for a long time. For as long as I can remember, for as early back as I can remember, I've always wondered why there was suffering in the world. And I don't know if you're like me or not, but I always want people to be happy. I just want people to feel good. I want people to be happy. I just came into the world this way, and if you resonate with me, you're probably very similar to me, and you're probably a natural healer as well. And we're going to look at something that I call the healer syndrome today. We're going to kind of go into a little bit of the healer syndrome, what exactly that is, and if you have it. And spoiler alert, you probably have it. But anyway, growing up, I always I just want people to be happy. I want people to be thriving, because when one person suffers, we all suffer. And when one person comes in with their light shining brightly, have you ever been in a bad mood and you just come across that one person who's always just such a joy to be around, and that influence on you? Whether that's like a pastor at your church, or a good friend of yours, a coworker, that funny, goofy kid in school. There's always that one person that they just bring that light back into the room. They bring that joy to the world. And I want all of us to be that person. I want you to be coming from a place of overflow. And in order to get back to a place of thriving and overflow and joy and happiness, we have to look at the problem here. We have to look at, why are we miserable first? Because you can't jump into overflow and thriving by bypassing the heavy stuff. And that's my job. So as a self-sabotage and anxiety specialist, what I do with my clients is we look at, what is the block here? You're over here in this suffering and this pain, feeling burned out, overwhelmed, unhappy. Maybe you don't even know really what's wrong. There's always a sense that you're never really fulfilled. There's always something missing. And you're always waiting for something to happen. You're waiting for the next thing to happen, which is anxiety, by the way. You're over here when you want to be over here and you're thriving. In order to jump this gap, you have to look at, what is the block? What is preventing you from getting over there? And this block here is what we're going to go into today. Is, why are we all suffering? Why is there this gap all the time? So, as a mother to 2 boys, I've had a child with paternal support, and then recently I had a child without any paternal support as a single mom with 2 boys. And I thought I knew depression. I thought I understood depression and anxiety because I specialized in these issues last year. And then going through this experience without support, it became so hard for me. It was so challenging. And I don't think I've ever felt the depth of loneliness that I felt this past year. And you probably have gone through something similar, just because of quarantine and COVID and all that's going on right now. There's so much isolation. This certainly intensifies everything that we're going through. But going through that postpartum experience without support took me to such a depth of pain and devastation that I was able to really not just conceptualize postpartum depression and conceptualize postpartum anxiety, but feel it, move through it, look at it forwards and backwards and all around, and also break through that and come out of it. And through that journey of my own of coming through, I wouldn't say I went into full-blown postpartum depression, because I had tools to help me move through it. Unlike with my first birth, which I didn't have any tools and I had no idea what was going on, I created a process for myself, a repeatable process to help me move through any negative feelings as they come up, but also to support other women. And as I started digging further and further, looking at all of the data from my past rapid healing sessions. So I've done 3.5 years now of these really intense trauma healing sessions, looking at the root cause of self-sabotage, depression, anxiety, lack of confidence, feeling paralyzed, feeling stuck. And going through all of that data in combination with my own experience, it became very clear what the root cause of motherhood misery really is. And I'm going to tell you exactly what that root cause is today. So if you are a mom who's feeling really overwhelmed and burned out, the first thing I want to tell you, or even if you're just a woman who feels really lost and stuck and you're just suffering right now, First off, what you're experiencing is completely understandable given your circumstances. No matter where you're at, what your life looks like, whether you're a single mom or you have a husband or you have a military husband who's gone all the time, or whatever your experience is, or you have very little support, or you're a stepmom, or you have a special needs child. It's hard for everyone right now. And that's part of why I want to address this today, because even though circumstances are not the best right now, you can still be happy. You can still thrive right now, and that's exactly what I want for you. So, as I was doing this digging and going further and further into why so many women are suffering, why I was suffering, why all of my clients in the past have suffered, and we feel so lost and so confused. Let me think of how I want to word this. What I used to think it was, and what a lot of therapists will walk you through, is I thought it was the attachment wounds that we have with our parents, because this is what my data showed with all of my healing sessions. It showed that when you grow up and your parents aren't emotionally available for you, this is the root cause of a lot of the suffering that I saw with my clients. Your parents can give you all of your physical needs, like they can feed you, clothe you, put you in school, give you education, make sure that you're taken care of externally. But if they didn't meet your emotional needs, a lot of my clients were emotionally neglected. And when you're emotionally neglected, you learn that you're not safe to depend on your parents. And when you don't feel safe to depend on your parents, you learn two things. One, you learn that you are bad, because a child can't understand that their parents can't meet their emotional needs because they haven't been gifted those skills, they haven't learned those skills, how to take care of you. The child can only understand my needs aren't being met, which means that I must be bad, or I must be inadequate, I must not be good enough. And what this creates is shame. Now, shame is a very low vibration energy. It says, I am bad, I am not enough, I am not a good person. So one, it creates shame in the body when your parents aren't able to meet your emotional needs. And then two, what children learn when their parents aren't there to meet those needs emotionally, they learn to shut down their emotions. And we also live in this culture now that says, and it has been this way for a long time, that says emotions are bad and wrong, that you shouldn't feel all these emotions, that emotions are inconvenient. I mean, think about corporate America. You can't go into work and cry. Think about, being a mom. You're not supposed to be angry. You're not supposed to get frustrated. And if you feel anger, if you feel sadness, if you feel grief, if you feel jealousy, our culture says all of those emotions are bad. You should only ever feel happiness. So what I learned through all of my client sessions is that these are the two root causes of anxiety and depression and self-sabotage and pretty much all suffering, is that the emotional needs weren't met, so the child felt unsafe. The child learned that they are shameful and bad and wrong, and the child learns to shut down their emotional body and become all logical, all cognitive, and close off their body. And I was happy with that. We can work with this. We can heal and address these issues. And I've created a process to heal this, to break out of shame, to heal the I'm not enough disease that all of us have, to restore your emotional body, to reconnect with your emotions and to honor your emotions, which also a side effect of that is to strengthen your intuition and to listen to your gut feelings, to find your voice again amidst all of the other voices inside your head, your mom's voice, your dad's voice, the inner critic, to find your voice which a side effect of that is that a lot of my clients would find their purpose. They would figure out what they want to do with their life, or at least they would have the space and the clarity to start exploring what they want to do with their lives outside of being a mother, outside of being a wife, outside of just doing corporate America or whatever it is. And all of that's well and good, and I've created a process to address that. But after going through my own experience of being so unsupported as a single mom this last year, it's so much bigger than that. It's so much bigger than our parents. The problem is, and some of y'all probably not resonate with this at all, and that's completely fine, because when I say this word, a lot of the times it can trigger people. They think I'm like an angry feminist. That's not what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and disclose right here that I love all men. I'm in full support of men, especially men who want to heal, men who want to grow themselves, men that want to be there for women and support women. The bigger problem here isn't just our parents. The bigger problem here, and this is exactly what the first one, my brand new program, is all about addressing, is the internalized patriarchal conditioning that all of us have been programmed into adopting. This is why your parents weren't able to meet your emotional needs, because of the patriarchal conditioning, the internalized patriarchal conditioning. Now, what does that mean? Like I said, when I say patriarchy, a lot of people kind of shut down because they think that means men suck, men are bad, and men are the problem. That's not what it means. And again, I love men and I fully support all men. The patriarchy is simply a system. It's a concept, an idea based off hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago that men were superior to women, that men were superior to all other beings, that they were number one and women were less than, and all other races and ethnicities and other groups of humans, I know I'm not being politically correct, excuse me, were less than. And although we've grown so much as a society and a culture, and we've addressed a lot of these issues and we've gotten so far, the problem now is that we have these ideas are still internalized in our bodies, in our systems. We take on these concepts about what it means to be a woman from our parents, who also have internalized patriarchal conditioning. And what this is called, what I call it, is the healer syndrome. The healer syndrome is basically just internalized patriarchy. And it is the idea that you, as a woman, are less than, that you are automatically less than, and that you are not worthy just as a being. And in order to earn worth in this world, in order to earn belonging and acceptance and praise and love and all good things, you have to earn it. Okay, I call this performing for love, because at the root of all issues, every issue, is that we have to feel accepted. We have to feel that we belong. And what I found with every single client, time and time and time again, was that the root of their problem was most often a fear of abandonment. Children come into the world, we only have 3 fears: fear of falling, fear of loud noises, and fear of abandonment. Because we are tribal beings. We thrive in community. We thrive in support systems. We have to feel that we belong because of how we're genetically wired as humans. Sorry, I thought someone's knocking. So, if you come into the world as a woman and you're not good enough, and you have to belong in order to survive, this is about survival and safety, and you have to belong here, and you aren't worthy of belonging here just because the world says you don't belong here, then you have to work to belong. You have to earn a sense of belonging. You have to earn a sense of approval. You have to earn a sense of acceptance. And this is where the healer syndrome comes into play. This is where, at the root of all of this pain and suffering, as a little girl, you learn you're not enough. You learn that you're shameful. You learn that you're bad and wrong just because you are a woman and you are feminine. And then you learn that you have to perform. You have to do things, and you can't be authentic to yourself anymore. So what happens is that our voices get shut down. Our emotions get shut down. We deny ourselves our intuition. We stop listening to ourselves. We stop expressing ourselves. We don't feel safe to be authentic anymore. You came into the world being authentic and fully confident in who you were, but at some point, you adopt this conditioning and then you stop being authentic. You stop feeling safe to be yourself and you perform for love. And this is where basically you're like a piece of clay, this beautiful statue, this beautiful being. And it makes me think of Spy Kids, where he molds it and makes it all disfigured. You have to twist yourself, contort yourself, change yourself, silence your voice, be a good girl, be a people pleaser. And this is the root of most suffering that I see in motherhood, is that you still are disconnected from your voice. You're still disconnected from your body. You don't feel safe to be yourself. You don't feel safe to be vulnerable. You don't feel safe to be emotional. You don't feel safe to be weak. Even though it's not weakness, it's just who you are, to be expressive, to be emotional, to be authentic. So in order to really heal postpartum depression and anxiety and suffering and self-sabotage, in order to heal this patriarchal conditioning that keeps getting passed down, because when we don't address it within ourselves as mothers and women who have platforms and friends and family, when we don't heal this within ourselves, we pass it down unconsciously. Because what happens is that what we repress and reject in ourselves, we cannot accept in others. So if someone is being emotional like a child, we have to shut it down and mold them into their own little disfigured clay piece too, in order to fit in, to be the same as everyone else, to blend in, to be accepted and belong. And we deny them their authenticity, we deny them their emotional body. And in order to change all of this, to heal this patriarchal conditioning, the root of the problem, the only way to address it is to address it within ourselves first. To heal it within ourselves first, because you can't give something that you don't have. You can't be someone that you want to be unless you heal and release whatever negative conditions and programming you have. Because if you don't heal this stuff within yourself, unconsciously, it shows up everywhere. The world is a mirror to us. The world is a mirror. So how do we heal this? How do we address this within ourselves? One, we have to heal the shame first and foremost. The shame around being a woman. And that means healing shame around being emotional. Healing shame around being angry, being sad, being jealous. Healing shame around expressing yourself and asking for support, asking for help. Shame around using your voice. You have to heal all the repressed parts of you that have been rejected by your parents and by everyone around you. Because again, we can't give what we don't have. And it's about completely embodying what you want to see in the world. Embodying what you yourself needed as a child. What did you need? And then you have to give those pieces to yourself. So healing the shame, restoring and reclaiming the parts of you that have been denied and rejected. And then taking action. Listening to your gut intuition, building up self-trust and self-respect, and then taking action to move your life towards the things that genuinely bring you happiness. Because a big piece of all of this is that we don't follow our gut intuitions as women. We don't listen to what we need for ourselves. And when you can continue to not take action, to stay stuck, and to try and keep your life the same that it is now, you're just going to have a lot of nervous breakdowns. You're going to have a lot of emotional breakdowns, or you're going to have chronic pain. because the universe whispers at first, and when you don't listen to it, it becomes louder and louder and louder until you literally cannot ignore it anymore. And this is just coming from a woman who's stubborn as heck, and the universe is constantly screaming at me when I don't listen to it, and when I don't take action, when I don't listen to my gut intuition. And that's exactly what the first one is about. It is all about healing the shame, healing the not enough disease that we've all adopted from our parents and from a society that believes we're not enough. And then reclaiming and restoring the parts of ourselves that have been suppressed, like your voice, like your intuition, having boundaries. And for women, sorry, I've been sick. For women, saying no, being able to use your voice and say no, and to live your life unapologetically, authentically, to feel safe to be yourself and to express yourself exactly as you are without diluting your voice, diluting your light, diluting parts of you. It's about choosing love over pain, love over trauma patterns, and it's breaking generational trauma and healing all this internalized patriarchy that we have. Excuse me. And it's expanding. So, probably gonna hop off here now. If you can feel that you are ready to go deeper into your healing journey and you're tired of the quick external fixes, if this is hitting you somewhere in your body, in your soul, you're ready for expansion, then I invite you to join me inside the first one. I am going to hop off here soon. Everyone's calling me. And come experience the step-by-step journey of what it means to heal out of shame and not enoughness, to reclaim your unstoppable nature. And P.S., side effects of doing this work is that you will be shining your light very brightly, old patterns away, and you're going to start moving towards more joy, more expansion, more pleasure, more happiness. You're going to be radiating from the inside out. People always commenting on how beautiful I am. Listen, I used to not shine brightly at all. I used to hide myself. And it's only been through healing that I've reclaimed my inner light and my eyes are shining again. All of this is available for you. So if you want more information about the first one, I'm going to leave a link down in the comments below to look at it. And also, feel free to send me a DM. If you decide to join today, and today is, I can't remember, but whatever today is, the 9th. If you decide to join me today, I will gift you a free one-on-one 90-minute healing session with myself. These sessions, these rapid healing sessions, have helped clients literally heal out of anxiety in a matter of hours. So you get to choose what you want to use your healing session on. If you want to address anxiety, depression, self-sabotage, confidence, whatever it is, it's your choice. But if you join today, you dive in, payment plan or painful, whatever works for you, I will gift you a free session as a bonus just to help nudge you to do this work, because it's going to completely change your life and all of the lives around you. So I'm going to hop off now. You are here to thrive, and yes, you deserve it. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'm sending you all so much love and support. Whoop.